Look at that eye of the salmon, yes. I think this is the first time I'm trying a salmon eyeball. So let's see what it tastes like. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Steve from Rockstar Eater coming to you with another rockin' episode. And today I am out here in Koreatown on Vermont Avenue because I'm going to be continuing on with my best seafood in Los Angeles series, covering the best and most unique seafood restaurants in town. And today I am truly at a unique spot. I've covered like Chinese seafood, Mexican seafood, American seafood of course, and today I am jumping into the wonderful world of Korean seafood here at this restaurant called the Crab House, which is one of the most unique seafood experiences you can find in Los Angeles. It is really one of a kind Korean seafood that you just can't find in too many Korean restaurants actually. So I knew I had to come here and check it out. They specialize in raw marinated crabs, sea urchin, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So if you guys want to see one of the most unique traditional Korean seafood experiences you can find in Los Angeles, then you must stick all the way to the end of this episode so that you can see this amazing feast I'm about to have. And also, if you're new to this channel, take a moment right now to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell because I put out these food and travel videos weekly that you don't want to miss out on. So go ahead, do that right now. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go in and get me some lunch. This restaurant, from what I heard, has been here since 2010, so it's about 11 years right now. The word has certainly spread. It is popular amongst the Korean community. They have a wait list, so if you come at the wrong time, it's gonna get busy here. But thankfully, I'm here early in the morning on a weekday, so it's really not too bad. Like I said, their specialty here is their raw marinated crabs, their sea urchins. In fact, their raw stuff is very popular here, but they also have cooked seafood as well. They got stews here. They even have like meats such as from pork belly called the bosam, which is very popular in Korean restaurants. So yeah, let's see what they got going on here. So this is some scallops that are being made as part of the seafood combination plate. Looks so nice, doesn't it? This one, abalone. Yes, Korean seafood restaurants are definitely known for their abalone as well. Oh, look at that piece of shrimp on there. Yes, some nice fresh shrimp. Okay, soy sauce. Okay. They make everything here at this kitchen because behind me in this huge pot, this is the soy sauce that they use for the raw marinated crab and the other seafoods they got going on here. This huge tub of sauce that's boiling here, and then of course it's cooled afterwards when it goes on top of the crab. That is amazing quality. Yeah, so he's cutting it up so that it can be easy to eat. Okay, and that's the sauce that goes over it. And we're pretty much done, I think. It's very unique because you don't really find food like this too much in Koreatown or even in the US. There are some Korean seafood restaurants around, but they're more kind of like the Japanese sushi sashimi, like Korean seafood, but this is really hardcore OG Korean style seafood. So let me show you some of the raw and cooked seafood that I got here for today. Beginning with this one, which is their raw marinated in soy sauce. It comes with 3 different seafoods on it: scallops, abalone, and shrimp. Oh, looks so pretty, doesn't it? I didn't really expect that, but that is so cool. And then moving on to the left, this is the spicy raw marinated crab using US crab. It looks really spicy, but I don't think it's as spicy as it looks. And look at this one. This is the grilled eel, and this is a little bit spicy as well. These pieces of eel that's grilled. And I don't remember when was the last time I had eel in a Korean restaurant, so this should be so fun. Okay, oh, here's their big attraction. So here is their Korean raw marinated crabs. Yes, there's a difference between US and Korean crabs. This one, with all of this beautiful sauce inside of it, looks so lovely. Okay, this isn't a seafood, but it is one of their best sellers, so I knew I had to get it. This is their bosam, which is their cabbage wrap with steamed pork belly and kimchi. There's a way to eat this, so I'll show you in just a bit. And here's also something that's worth noting too. They have a lot of awesome side dishes. Their banchan here, like the kimchi, the bean sprouts, the fish cake. But you know what is so cool? Look at this one. This is also one of their side dishes. This is a fish head, a salmon head. It's so big, guys. You can kind of see, right? Look how pretty it is with all these garnishments on top of it. Wow, that thing melts in your mouth. Really, once it goes in, it's gone just like that. Nice, delicious, sweet scallops. And I can't forget my rice because I need that. You know what, actually, instead of the rice, why don't we move on to the crab? Because there's a way that this is prepared that involves rice. So let me show you guys right now. This is making me salivate just looking at it with all of that soy sauce. Oh, you hear that squirt? Maybe some of you guys might not be into raw crab, but I am. This is definitely an adventurous eat. Okay, and then got some of that soy sauce juice that's inside of it. You put it on top of the rice, just like that. Oh, yes, it's looking so good, guys. Looks almost like a porridge in some ways, or some sort of bibimbap in some ways. Yeah. You get a combination of so many things going on in your mouth, like the white rice, and then the sweetness of that soy sauce marinade, as well as the seaweed inside of it, which is cold and refreshing, and the sweetness of that crab meat. And that crab meat is tender too. Wow, this is a really good combination. I mean, I would never have thought about putting all this together like this, because if you just give the crab to me, I'd just be taking it and just sucking it. But this really adds a new dimension of flavor. It's almost like eating a raw crab porridge in some ways. It takes a little bit of work to peel this shrimp because the shell is so thick. But you gotta do what you gotta do in order to eat this. And yes, it is raw. Almost like eating sweet shrimp at a sushi restaurant, but with a different marination. That shrimp is so fresh. It's fresh and it tastes so sweet too. Really, if you've had raw shrimp before at a sushi restaurant, then you kind of get an idea of what this tastes like. Raw shrimp, I know it's a little bit slippery. It's different from a cooked shrimp, but man, if you can get into it, it is really such a wonderful thing to eat. Spicy marinated crab. It's pretty much like the other one, but this one is the American, not Korean, and it is spicier. The crab meat is just as equally soft, tender, melt in your mouth, and sweet as well. But the difference with this one is that it is a little bit spicier. Not overbearing spicy, it has a little bit of a kick to it. But I would say that if you're more into spicy crab, then of course this is the one you gotta get. But by all means, don't skip the regular soy marinated crab, because that one is delicious in its own way. You cannot miss out on that one. And I wanna move on to the eel before this gets cold. And a good thing is it came out on a sizzling platter, so it should keep it warm for some time. This looks so interesting. I don't think I've had eel like this before, where it's so small, like these tiny pieces. I'm so curious, what does this one taste like? Wow, that's kind of different than what I thought. This eel is crunchy, almost like eating into a octopus or squid. Because the eel that I've had before was very soft, melt in your mouth, like the unagi or the anago at the sushi restaurant. But this is quite different. Bosam time. I'm going to show you guys how to make it if you don't have experience with it. So you take some of the kimchi on top of the piece of lettuce or cabbage, I would say. Okay, and that is some shrimp paste inside. And that's the actual pork belly itself that's been roasted for some time. So the pork belly itself, they cook it so that it's soft. It's very tender. It's not supposed to be so hard that you can't chew that thing. So it is tender, and there's a lot of that pork fat on there that adds that rich flavor to it. Here is also another one of their special items you absolutely need to get here. This is the live sea urchin. Really one of the highlight items here at this restaurant. You can see the sea urchin that's all around here, how creamy and fresh it looks, with the yolk in the center, as well as some of these, I think it's like caviar or something, wasabi, kind of like eggs, and some seaweed, and there's a lot of rice that's in the bottom. Woo, here we go, cheers. Oh. That is like eating sea urchin over rice at a sushi restaurant. It's so creamy, it's fresh, it's slightly sweet, and the eggs complement this thing so perfectly. In fact, what would the sea urchin be without this rice inside of it, with this egg yolk, which gives it that stickiness? I don't think they have it every single day of the week, so you should call in advance to see whether it is an item they have in the store. But man, if they have it, it's definitely like one of the top 3 items that you should get in this restaurant. It's so fresh. It's really like probably the most flavorful food that you can have here at this restaurant. And here's the big one. This is their seafood stew. Yes, so basically it has crab in there, but a lot more than crab. You can see that there's some squid in here and some shrimp and other stuff in here. Oh yeah, you can't miss out on this one, especially if you are into some of that Korean soup. Ooh, yeah, that definitely is a seafood soup, because the seafood has been boiled into that broth. You taste a lot of that crab flavor inside of it, but then it's spiced up with a lot of this chili and flakes. It's not that spicy though, so don't be scared, guys. You should definitely try it. It's good. It's a very rich tasting seafood flavored soup. Not creamy, very thin, just like a regular soup. But then, of course, you get all this adventure of the seafood that's inside of it, which is what I'm gonna do right now, is to eat into some of it. Just a little bit of everything. Maybe I'll try the crab. There is some crab in here. Beware, guys, it's very hot. Yeah, it squirts everywhere too. Another tip for you guys. Be careful of the juice. Man, that crab is so good. It's tender. It's not like raw crab, because raw crab is, you know, it's raw. It's a little more slippery, but this tastes like cooked meat, but just very soft, melt in your mouth, crabby meat. Yeah, it's very simple. Just suck out of it, guys. But then there are little baby octopuses inside here. Oh yeah, I love that crunch of the octopus. I'm an octopus guy. See that, guys? That's a piece of the monkfish right there. Okay, so the thing with the monkfish is that it's chewier than your typical fish that breaks apart easily, like tilapia, for example. Monkfish, you definitely need to chew into it a little bit. But nevertheless, it is a very expensive fish, and it's a unique seafood item you don't find in too many seafood restaurants. So if you're adventurous and you want to eat something unique, then definitely get the monkfish here as part of your seafood stew. You really should come here with a group. That's where you're gonna have so much fun eating here. I definitely like the raw marinated crab here. In Korean, it's called the ganjang, gejang, the best that I can pronounce it. But the spicy one is also pretty good as well. And the seafood stew, oh, so epic here. I mean, a lot of things here are so good. So I'm telling you, if you are in the Koreatown area and you want to try some really good, unique Korean style seafood, really try this place, because there's so many Korean style seafoods that's more like the Japanese with the sushi and the sashimi and everything like that, but you definitely want to try something like this. And that's the reason why I'm showing this to you, so that you see some of the most unique seafood experiences you can have in Los Angeles. So remember that. Crab House in Koreatown. And if you don't know what to get, just get what I got, because these are the most popular things on the menu, and you guys will get a taste of what's awesome here at the Crab House. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this episode of Rockstar Eater. If you enjoy what I'm doing here on the show, give me a thumbs up. Comment on the section below if you've had this food before. I'd love to hear your story. And also subscribe so that you can get these food videos on a weekly basis. Well, I hope you have a rockin' day today, folks, and that you'll try some of this rockin' Korean seafood sometime soon in LA. And be sure to also follow in on my other videos so that you can see my other seafood adventures in Los Angeles. So I'll see you guys in the next episode.